Everybody serves a master. Most people never find out who theirs is until money asks them to choose. Money is a great servant, but a very terrible God. The first question was never how much do you have? It is whose is it? Ownership, faithfulness, mastery, multiplication. Be faithful in the little. Don't bury what He puts in your hands. Welcome to the Stewardship Code, Principles of Managing Money.
Welcome to the Kids Inspiring Nation Devotional.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our series on stewardship. This is the Kids Inspiring Nations Devotional. Now let's go to Luke chapter 16. Luke chapter 16 and verse 2. It says, "And he called him and said unto him, How is it I hear this of thee? Give an account of thy stewardship, for thou mayest be no longer steward." Now, as a steward, you must know what you have. Proverbs chapter 27 and verse 23 talks about it. It says, "Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks, and look well to thy herds." You cannot manage accurately what you refuse to measure. You know, while I worked in the financial services some years back, they would tell us that what cannot be measured cannot be managed. You cannot measure performance. You cannot manage performance if you can't measure performance. So, look at what the Bible says. As a steward, you must understand how much you have. A good steward pays attention. Something as simple as, do you know how much you spent this year? Do you know how much has come into your hands this year? Do you know how much you've given to God in your tithe, in your offerings this year? Do you know how much has come from you in sowing to others this year? You know, by the grace of God, we've kept an account in our family from inception. And at the end of each year, we are amazed at how much God's blessings covered us. But what is also interesting is how much we've also been a blessing to people. So good stewards pay attention. Be diligent to know the state of your accounts. How many people have you been a blessing to? How much has been given to you this year? And like I said, I thank God for my dad. Some of the lessons about money early in life, he taught us. So when we go to school, my dad will ask us to give him an account. It is a rule. You don't get another pocket money if you can't give an account of the last pocket money. And so he will come. How much did you spend on provisions? Wow, this is so much. You're not paying your tithe. No, you won't get your next seat. By the time I got to the university, because I knew how to pay attention to my little account, I was living on about 30% of my income. Pay attention to your account. Also, understand it that paying attention reveals a reality that you might not want to confront. Keeping a record reveals the reality of things. You know, God's servant, our godmother, will tell me and say, if you know how much God is blessing us in this house. And you see, when we look at it at the end of the year, and we see how much God blesses us, you can't put saving. Because no man can live under the blessings of God and remain under the blessings if you don't keep a record that makes you understand at the end of the year that this God is too much. I will worship you forever, love you forever, because this God is too much. So record reveals a reality. I remember when we got married, one of the first things I did was I sent some money. I said for the next 6 months. And then what we sent for the first 6 months of marriage, funnily, is what you spend in a month today. But it's because of the blessings of God. Record reveals reality. You may think you don't spend much until you start keeping record. I'm telling you. You might think you're not spending much until you start keeping a record. How much did you spend, for instance, for those of you that are students? How much did you spend on biscuits last year? For those of us that work, how much? Because I love also financial things. I give a lot of financial consultation. I tell people the 3 things that drain your salary: food, accommodation, transport, especially if you live in busy cities like Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt. That's Uber that you take. Get a record every month. Check a record every quarter. Check at the end of the year. Some people's Uber record can buy half the price of a fairly used car. That's accommodation you're living in. Somebody says, there's a rule in finance that your accommodation should be taken care of in 2, maximum 3 months of your rent. And then somebody is choking himself to pay house rent for a year. Food. My mom will always say, there is no house where they don't make stew, but the size of the meat differs. When we were growing up, there are times where all we could afford is pomo. And then I think my senior sister would say, pomo no be nylon, not part of meat keke. I will be dancing. Pomo is not nylon. It is part of meat. So keep records. Records reveal reality. Records shows you where your money is going to. Now, the other thing you should understand is measure more than money. Because we are in a day and age where money runs the world, like they say. But beyond money, there are things that take our time that can suck into our life. For instance, check your phone. On my phones, there's something we call, I think, productivity. Digital wellbeing, yeah. On some of the phones, you see it. Where it shows you your productivity. Let me share something with you. There was a time I was big on posting online. And then one day, I just checked how much I was on social media. I said, this is how much time I spend on social media. So I gave myself an embargo. Now today, I don't check people's statuses. Many of us don't know. At the end of the week, check how much you spent, wasted actually, on checking people's statuses. You discover that you have wasted your time, which is your life. That's why they call it lifetime. Also measure how much you spend, you invest, study. The reason why you're not passing well in school is because you don't have a specific system of constant study. Thank you, Jesus. Why? Because every important resource, deserves keeping record, paying attention to it. So take time today and this week and find out the state of your flocks. Did you receive it today? Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like and comment. I'll see you again in the next video. Jesus Christ is your joy.
Thank you for listening today. Join our Kids Inspiring Nation community on Telegram at t.me/KidsInspiringNation. Share your testimonies and prayer points on WhatsApp +234 811 349 4684. Always remember, you are not just growing older, you are becoming a God child to your generation. Keep taking quantum leaps of joy because Jesus Christ is your joy.